President Trump back as Commander-in-Chief, I would go back to re-enlist today. Where I come from, when somebody comes for me or my home, you dig in your boots in the ground and never look back. That's the attitude that saved the free world.
98 years old. President Biden's foreign policy failures put it into perspective at the RNC, including the botched Afghanistan withdrawal, one of the worst in our military history. It took the life of 13 American service members, wounded many. One of those Gold Star moms speaking out last night.
Now we have another son serving in the Army, and we do not trust Joe Biden with his life. We have faith that Donald Trump to lead our military. Please join us in supporting Donald Trump for President and Commander-in-Chief.
Our next guest was also on stage prior to the 13 Gold Star families coming out, driving home that this would never happen under Trump's watch. Former Green Beret commander and Florida Congressman Michael Waltz. Great to see you, Congressman. Great speech last night.
Thank you.
Your thoughts about how those 13 families afforded themselves in front of the world last night?
There wasn't a dry eye in the House, Brian. And, I was able to tell the story of President Trump after Biden wouldn't meet with him, wouldn't take a call from them, saying, come on up here to Bedminster. He was scheduled to spend an hour with him. He ended up spending 6 hours with him. By the end of the night, they were crying half the time, and then he had them dancing half the time and laughing. And two of those moms that were up on stage came up to me afterwards and said that it was the best thing. This evening with President Trump was the best thing that had happened to them since they'd lost their son. And I was able to look at the president last night and say, you helped them heal, because he did. That's a compassionate, caring commander-in-chief, and one that we need.
5 days ago, he almost lost his life. He wouldn't have been there. This country would have been different, and obviously the RNC might not have taken place. We're getting more details about what took place, and there are so many disturbing things with this assailant walking through with a scope, still allowed to walk through. The Secret Service with eyes on him 10 minutes before, knows there was a guy with a gun, and still let the president get on stage. What happened yesterday from the congressional point? What about you as a human being, your reaction?
Well, first of all, just the protocols are gun, president's off. Or I've been at a rally where local law enforcement called in, we have something suspicious, and they held the president, and he didn't go out until it was cleared.
Of course.
So clearly there was a major breakdown between local and the inner core close-in detail. But I keep pointing out that because that detail was denied additional Secret Service agents, they were reliant on local law enforcement they hadn't trained with before. They may not have had the same communication systems.
I believe that if you have a guy with a gun on a roof, and you know that 10 minutes before the president comes out, and you don't shoot that guy, or you don't keep the president in his green room.
Well, he should have never gone out or immediately been pulled off. Now, another issue when we have the director of the Secret Service before our committee on Monday is there's different rules of engagement for seeing something that poses a threat versus reacting to a shot. We have that in the military, and I believe they had it here, but I want to know what it was.
Right. Let's look at Marsha Blackburn and Senator Barrasso. Heard that the Secret Service director was in the building. And take a look at this footage. Watch.
This is exactly what you were doing today on the call.
This was an assassination attempt. You owe the people answers.
Not to tell the American people 5 days after assassination to have a press conference inexcusable. Not to tell you guys is unacceptable. And then we have to do that?
And then, look, we had a call yesterday. It was worthless. It didn't tell us anything that you can't
with the FBI director.
Well, with the FBI director and the service. So that's one thing. Look, and then we had to subpoena her to come. She wouldn't come voluntarily to come Monday. What the hell is going on? She should have been the first person to stand in front of the country and assure us to say we're going to get to the bottom of this. Period.
no one's running this White House. She should be fired, and the president thinks that his director's a man. So we are in a lot of trouble over the next 4 months. Congressman, great job last night. I love your message, and I love you bringing the inside story to what President Trump was like behind the scenes, because he will not say it, and you will. Meanwhile, tonight, President